What's up, boys? Data782 here with episode 17 of Fixing the Franchise here with the Anaheim Ducks as we move into the 2024 NHL entry draft, coming off a disappointing first round loss to the Edmonton Oilers in the last episode, where the Oilers went to the Stanley Cup Finals and won the Stanley Cup in the end. And we never looked at the awards, so I'll do that in a second. I just want to quickly see how they made it to the Cup Finals. They beat us in 7, they beat the Kings in 5, they beat the Avalanche in 6, and then they beat the Blue Jackets in 5. So quite the run for them. The Franchise were loving it on St. Catharines. Let's look at the awards for last season quickly before we start the draft. Vancouver won the President's Trophy. Okay. Draisaitl wins the Art Ross. Hart goes to Draisaitl. James Norris to Makar for the second straight year. Also second straight Hart for Draisaitl. Lady Bing Kuznetsov. Calder to Kurnkovic. Conn Smythe to Yamamoto. Vezina to Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. Jennings also to Luukkonen. Back-to-back Bill Masterton trophies for John Merrill. Jack Adams to the coach of the Dallas Stars. Selke to Draisaitl. Ted Lindsay back-to-back Draisaitl. And Maurice Richard to Austin Matthews. In the AHL, any awards for us in San Diego? Yes, Bickle won the award for most goals. And that's it. Okay. So looking good. Now moving into this draft, looking over comments from last episode, got a couple. Chris Chong telling me the possibility of maybe moving Gibson since the overall of goalie doesn't really seem to matter. That's very true. And also from Michael Bruno Vaselli talking about the necessity of moving some of the older, more expensive people like Raquel or Lindholm. He says that I could just roll with Dostal and Gibson in the NHL next season, put Jerry in the minors. I'm gonna see after the offseason what the goalie stitch is going to be. And yeah, so that's what we're looking at. Now here is what I am going to try moving into the draft here. I have the second overall pick. Now I'm going to take my time while I can. So I'm going to send through the first pick, and then I'm going to take a bunch of timeouts. So the first overall pick to the Ottawa Senators, the first pick in this draft in 2024 will be, was it Brandon Bartlett? Brandon Bartlett, 82 overall, third line scorer, medium elite potential, 5'9", 5-star shooting. Now I'm going to call a couple timeouts. I'm likely going to take this pick, but I'm willing to trade my 24th overall pick. Now here's the trade I'm thinking about. I'm thinking of moving Hampus Lindholm. I like Rickard Rakell, he's a monster. I want to keep him at least for this next season. Hampus Lindholm though, 30 years old, 85 overall, 6.6. Fowler I keep because he's the captain. Lindholm, not as good as he is in the NHL in the simulated world. Decent. He's had some good seasons. Last season was pretty bad by his standards, but I'm looking to possibly trade him because he also doesn't really fit the coaching scheme. Now here I'm looking at getting an offensive defenseman because our coach loves offensive defensemen. There's some possibilities like John Klingberg, Torrey Krug, but there's a big possibility, well not a big possibility, but there's a thought in my mind that I would like to go and get Cale Makar. He's 25 years old, 91 overall, making $7.5 million for the next 3 years. Now, if we get a big defenseman, because currently our scoring is from young guys on entry-level deals / not the biggest deals. So in the future, I might have to trade Seth Jones or something, but I want Cale Makar to be the new bellow on this team, the guy who's really going to get stuff done and be a huge offensive presence. He constantly leads the NHL in defensive scoring, 79 points last year, 84 the year before, great plus minus. Coach says he fits in top 4D, all power play lines, all penalty kill lines. He's on a good contract, 5-star shooting, 4.5-star defense. So I want to try and get Cale Makar. Now, no chance Lindholm's going to be able to do that. I'm going to throw in the first round pick for this season, 24th overall, not worth that much. I'd have to probably give the second if I want to just do that. But here's what I'm looking at. I think I want to throw in Quinton Byfield. He's 21 years old. He's only up to an 83 overall. He hasn't been growing as much as I want him to. I know he's a power forward, which is rare to come by, but I just don't feel like he grows very much, nor is he growing very much right now. Or does he really fit in the lines that much? He fits in the third line, great, but he doesn't really fit in anything higher. Like, he's never going to get to that first line. He doesn't fit on it. He's a defensive kind of guy. Meanwhile, also looking at that fit, if I go to Hampus Lindholm and look at his fit, he fits on the third pair. I need a guy who's going to fit on that first pair. I want the big guys to be big. So I'm also probably going to trade Gooley and Larson or something in the offseason. Quick note that the NHL just put out their new scouting report in the real world, and I think Quinton Byfield, Jamie Drysdale, and Who else do I have? Quentin Byfield, Jamie Drysdale. I think that's it. 2 of like the top 5 skaters in the NHL draft for this next year. Byfield went 7th overall, and then I ended up getting Drysdale in a trade where all I had to do was trade a little bit, and he was drafted 21st overall in his year. So, oh, and Gooley, yeah, Gooley was also in the top 10 there, and he was taken 25th overall by us. So anyways, I want to see if throwing in Quentin Byfield makes this deal happen. I know I'm going to have to overpay big time. So first, Hampus Lindholm and Quentin Byfield for Cale Makar. Let's see what they say when I send them that. Trade rejected. Oh, all I have to do is sweeten it just a touch. Interesting. They are champion status. Quentin Byfield and Hampus Lindholm will definitely help them out, but Cale Makar is huge, and I want him on my team. So it says sweeten it just a touch. I don't want to give. I'd like to keep my 2nd for this season. Could I give you a 4th and a 5th? Will that sweeten it enough? Sweeten it just a touch still. That probably means a 3rd, but I don't have a 3rd. So I have to give a 2nd, but I don't want to give a 2nd. So what if I give you, do I have a 3rd next season? I do have a 3rd next season. I have mine and I have Boston's. Can I give you a 3rd next season? It's all about the squeeze game. Can I give you a 3rd next season and I get back a 6th? What do you say to that? Bit low for us. Just a 3rd. Trade rejected is still a bit low. Okay, so if I give you a 3rd next season and then I give you a 7th this season, how close do we get? Rejected. I hate when they say just a touch, but it's not just a touch. Like, I don't mind giving you more, but don't lie to me and say it's just a touch when it's not just a touch. I went from a 3rd, a 5th, a 6th, a 7th, blah, blah, blah. Let's try a 4th now. I give you a 3rd and a 4th. Trade rejected. Bit low for us. Okay. So what if I give you a 2nd next season? My 2nd next season. I have Nashville's 1st still. And then I can also take back maybe a 5th and a 6th next year. What do you say to that? Trade rejected. Just a 5th next year. Trade accepted. Okay, so Cale Makar, welcome to the Anaheim Ducks. Hampus Lindholm, Quentin Byfield, but especially Hampus Lindholm, thank you for all you've done for this franchise, the Stanley Cup that we got. But Cale Makar, welcome to Anaheim. A huge, huge move right there. And now we make our pick. So at the 2nd overall, thanks to Nashville and the trade we made with Maxime Comtois, now I can take this right winger, Jake Sydor. I was thinking about DeNicola, but I have enough two-way forwards. This guy, I think he's a sniper, and if he's not, he has great shooting stats. I know he's 5'8", but he looks good enough to get it done. Previous Central Scouting had him ranked at number 1, so he should be NHL ready right away. He's similar to no one. Okay, great. He has leadership ability, great. From the Edmonton Oil Kings, the Anaheim Ducks are proud to select Jake Sydor. He is 82 overall, medium elite sniper. Definitely could have been the 1st overall pick. He has 5-star shooting, 3-star defense with some good defensive awareness. Great stats. Very nice. Welcome to the team, Jake. Happy to have you. Next pick is at 46. Let's see the rest of the guys here. DeNicola was 77 medium elite. Saprikin was 81 overall medium elite. That's nice for Minnesota. They fell out of 1st overall. Karkner was also 81 overall medium elite. Lightning get Mui, who was 63 overall medium top 6. Yikes. Anyone else want to trade their picks? I don't think New York. I don't think there's really anybody that I really. The late picks. They want to trade the late picks. Are there any late guys that I want to get? Maybe like around 20 or so. This guy's maybe medium elite. Russ Hickey. You know, I have a lot of prospects. I don't think I'm going to make trades for all these guys. I don't think I really need to either. So yeah, let's just send to my pick. It's at 46. Nelson Dahlman. No, I don't want more defensive defensemen. Anyone before 46 that I might want to trade up for? Because I'm going to get these guys around here. It's medium top 9. Nah. 18 years old, power forward. Yeah, maybe I'll trade up to like 44. I'll give you a 2nd and 2 7ths for your 2nd. What do you say? You're too far off. So I'm not going to... Just to move up 2 picks, they probably want me to give them the world. Could I give you a 6th round pick? Isn't sufficient at all. You know what? Forget it. We're just going to go to my 46th overall pick. That's how it works in the draft sometimes. Sim to pick. Let's see who's there. Sulzer was medium top 9. Oh, great. Enjoy him, LA. Pieces of junk. Who else? Medium top 6. Medium top 6. Yeah, it looks like a lot of guys in the mid-60s. Classic mid-round picks. High top 6D. Rough. Adamski, medium top 6. All these guys, medium top 9. That's brutal. Low elite. Medium top 4D. Top 6D. Tough picks. This guy's good here. 75 overall. Medium top 4D. That's a nice pick. Yuri Baikov. A lot of top 4Ds. Better picks in the second round than the end of the first round, that's for sure. And now we come to our pick at 46th overall, thanks to Boston. I could pick Philip Linter, defenseman. He's an offensive defenseman. I wouldn't mind an offensive defenseman. He is 19 years old, and he is 3 years away from the NHL. It's a bit rough. Then there's Kim Silverberg, who is 4 years away, similar to Kevin Shattenkirk, 18 years old. Scouts have him at 46, but this guy, Central Scouting and previous Central Scouting, both have him at 46 as well. Or do I go for Philip Wyman, who's a medium top 6 centerman, perhaps? I could use some centerman in my system as well. 5 years away, similar to Scott Hartnell. You know what? I think I do have enough D in the system. I'm gonna just trade for. I'm gonna go. You know what? I'm not gonna trade. Just gonna make a little reach. A little reach here for Philip Wyman from the U.S. development system. Medium top 9 grinder. Great. Piece of junk. Mackey didn't go. Went there. Linter was medium top 6 D, 63 overall. Now let's see the other guy. Silverberg was medium top 6, 2-way D. So nothing really too wild. Not a lot of picks early in this round, in this draft, where you jump all the way to 103 now. Andrei Glebov is possibly medium elite. Probably just going to go for him. Scouts have him at 94. Let's go for it. From Russia, he is medium top 6, 52 overall. Okay, I like to see that. Now at 117th overall. I guess we'll go for Nathan Hannon. He's possibly an offensive defenseman. Skating's an E, though. Forget that. That's between these two guys for sure, actually. Malachi Madsen, that's a cool name. And Kelly Fotinos, possibly possibly an offensive defenseman. This guy's 4 years away. Fotinos is 5 years away. It doesn't change much. You know, a cool name, Malachi. Come over here. He is medium top 6, 58 overall. Another good pick. Happy to see that. 148th overall now. I think we'll just go for this guy who's low top 9 right away, because I don't think there's anybody else that great. William Clow might be a top 4D. Yeah, actually, let's go for William Clow. That's a cool name. William Clow, 53 overall, medium 7th D, Pitts. Go to 154 just a few picks later. Marshall Tangretti still here as a medium backup. Why not, bro? Welcome to the team. From Denmark. You can be friends with Pedro Pacioretty, medium fringe starter. Pick 185 here at the end of round number 6. We have a low top 9. Yeah, I guess we'll just go for him, I think. No point trying to make a crazy risk. Scott Parrish might be medium elite, ranked at 203. I don't want a grinder, though. That's true. Yeah, forget that. Let's go for the guy here. Possibly medium elite, Scott Parrish. He is medium bottom 6. Going now to pick 201, closing on the end of the draft. It was a quick one today. This guy's probably medium top 6D. Let's go for it. Malik Gilbert. He is medium 7th D, 57 overall. Now the second to last pick in the draft, 216th overall. Guaranteed low elite. Let's do it. Unless there's anyone really better. Guaranteed low elite is probably going to be the one who gets it. This guy's guaranteed low top 6. Medium starter goaltender Jukka Kurvinen is not bad. I wouldn't mind getting a medium starter as well. That wouldn't be a bad move. Colin Reyes, let's see if I can get both. Let's see if I can get him from the Hamilton Bulldogs, formerly of the Montreal Canadiens. He's 50 overall, low elite. And Edmonton, I'll give you my 7th round pick next year for your 7th round pick right now. Thank you. So I can take that goalie with medium starter potential. Whether he ever turns into anything or not, he still will be have more trade value than a 7th round pick. So welcome, Jukka Kurvinen. He is 47 overall, medium starter, but thank you, Edmonton. Welcome to the team, boys. Hop on. Let's head into the re-sign phase now and see what we can do. And man, it's great to have Cale Makar on this team. But now they're going to tell us all the guys who are, okay, AHL head coach, associate coach, and assistant coach all need new contracts. Kolanos, is he a good fit on this team? I guess he seems to be. We've had a lot of good records as well. He's 131, 50, and 23. Why not? You've done a good job. 3 years. I'll give you $1 million. Let's see if you can keep up the good work here in San Diego. Whoa. Did it just sign him as an AHL associate coach when I sent him that offer? I think it did. What a piece of junk system this is. Wakabayashi. Randy Wakabayashi. Doesn't look too Asian to me. Rated C, Ahonen, whatever, just sign him up. 3 years looks good to me. The coaching system is so broken in this game, but I know you can expose it, but I don't really know enough about it. I don't even know if I signed them to the right roles or not. I don't know. All these scouts expired as well. Let's sign these guys. The key is you sign all your scouts, but then you look at what scouts are available, and then you fire the scouts to make room for better scouts. Because you can't always bet on there being better scouts. You have to re-sign everybody, then you got to see who's left when you go to signing. Same with coaches. That's all done, thank goodness. Okay, so now let's go into the re-sign phase, check out the contracts, and see what we are going to look like for next season. We have $17.170 million of cap space. Go to all expiring. Right away, Jesper Helmersson, huge guy in this team. He's 88 overall, 21 years old. Says he does not want an extension, which is a bit concerning, but if I just qualified him, I wouldn't be too worried. Looks like I can just give him 5 years at a pretty reasonable 7.8. If I go up to 8 years, he wants 9, which I guess I don't want to do. But he doesn't want the extension, so I will keep it at 5. You know what? I'll give him exactly what he wants since he doesn't want the extension. You know what? You got to experiment. Now that you have a few days to do it, let's try 5 years at 7.550. Let's try that. Antoine Morand, he coming off that 1 year. There we go. He wanted 8 years, 9 million or whatever. Now we signed him to 1 year, 5 million, and then we come back down to earth. So he does not want the extension, but if I give him 6 years, yeah, that's a good deal. 6 years at 5.5. Let's see what he'll say to that. Jakob Larsson, I would like to re-sign. 5 years, 4.7 in a fantasy land. Goodbye, Bello. Nice having you. Yoel Armia is great for injuries, so I would like to just give him a nice little 1 year deal at 1.250. Does want the extension. Brendan Gooley, what do you want? I can sign you for 1 year and then possibly trade you. I'll give you 1 year, 2.5. Larson's not going to happen though. Adam Lowry, I guess I'm going to let go of Pedro Pacioretty's coming up to the system. I don't like to just lose guys to free agency before knowing if they're going to get replaced or not, so I'm going to sign him and possibly trade him. Sherwood's also good for depth, and that's a good contract, so I'll give that to him. Axel Anderson is a good prospect to have down with 78 overall. It's not bad. Goldobin I release. Jakob Persson I'll probably release. Prickreal I'm going to re-sign here. Good for the San Diego. Studenik always leads San Diego in points, so I can give him a couple of years. He earned it. And then I'm going to leave the rest for a minute. People who are unsigned, Sidor right away. Give him his contract. He's good to go. Ola Berglund, give him a contract. He can play in San Diego. McInnes, I'm not sure. If he can play in the NHL, I'll sign him. If not, I'm not going to sign him, or else he'll be in juniors all year, which is what I don't want. Going to goalies, I think everyone's good. Kaspar could use a contract. He has medium fringe starter potential. Yeah, I can give him a contract, but probably going to just make him trade bait. Advance today and see what the Bellows have to say. Okay, so I don't feel the role you have offered me is appropriate. Goodbye, whatever. I don't feel it's appropriate, and I don't feel it's appropriate. Okay, whatever you say, boys. Scouts are saying yes. The coaching system is so broken, man. Okay, someone just told me it was a dream of them to sign. Kiefer Sherwood says no to the dollar value, even though that's what he asked for. Gooley wants to test the free agent market. Lowry wants more money. Armia wants more money. I gave them exactly what they wanted, except for Armia. Helmerson wants to test the free agency. That won't happen. Sidor welcome. Studenik welcome. Morand wants more money. Anderson, yes. What? Why does everyone want to test the free agent market or get more money when it says they want an extension and I give them exactly what they want? Oh, man. So back to all expiring. You know what? If you don't want this, I'm just going to qualify you. You want to be a piece of junk? You can be a piece of junk. So I'll give you 5 years at 7.85. Antoine Morand, you don't want an extension either. I'll give you 6 years. It's 5.750. And let's go from there. Yoel Armia. You know what? Let's just go from there, actually. Before I start offering contracts and just, I wanted to sign for you, but then, your team is full now, so you can't sign. Okay, let's try this again. Kolanos, you are going to be the AHL head coach. I'm going to pay you whatever the heck you want. $1.2 million. Wakabayashi. Why does it always go one under what they're supposed to be? Head coach, associate coach, assistant. What's with that? Here, $730K. And then you, Ahenen, you're already an assistant coach. Gives you 3 years. I'll give you $700K. There you go. Greedy, ungrateful pigs. Okay, advance today. Got to see what Helmerson and Moran say. Or else I'm just going to qualify them. All the scouts are saying yes, yes, yes. Okay, great. Malachi Sanders. Helmerson says no, Moran says no. Great. You want to be pigs? I'm going to qualify you. And whatever they want, whatever someone offers you in an offer sheet, I'm just going to match it. Ah, man, it's such a buzz. Helmerson, qualify. Moran, qualify. Great, that's done. Jakob Larsson, I'm very sorry. I'm going to have to let you go at that dollar value. You've been a great piece on this team. Yoel Armia, you've been really great as well, so I would like to give you 1 year at 1.325. Gooley, you don't want an extension, so I'll give you 1 year at 2.75. Adam Lowry, I don't think you want an extension either, so 1 year at 1.8. Sherwood, you said you wanted it, but I guess you don't. I'll give you 1 year 1.025 to make you a little happier. Yoel Person wants a two-way deal. I wouldn't mind giving him that, just to see what happens. Prick Reel, qualify. Hunter Drew, median 7th D, I'm going to release him. Volkov, I can sign him. I wouldn't mind an entry-level deal, as he's 22 years old, 71 overall, it's not bad. Who else is here? Medium 7th D, 20 years old. Petrie, gone. Uchaz, 21 years old. AHL top 6, gone. Mohamed Malhotra, I remember when I drafted him, gone. Altonen, gone. And Recchi. If you put up good junior numbers, I'll sign you. Pat Recchi in the National League. 12 points in 48 games. Power forward? Bah. Why not? Could use a little depth in San Diego. Reed Duke, I'm going to release him to make way for other people. He's been a great player on our team, though. And Sidorov as well. I'll give him 1 year. He's been good. And Kaspar signed as well, which is good. Okay. Now let's advance a day. I think that should be everyone, if everyone accepts. Shouldn't have any more issues there. I don't feel the role you've offered me is appropriate. You're an NHL head coach, you piece of junk. Don't feel it's appropriate, and I don't feel it's appropriate. Okay, no problem. Sherwood, yes. Gooley, no. Lowry, yes. Armia, no. Okay, I'm going to try Armia again. Sidorov, no. Person, yes. Recchi, yes. Volkov, yes. Okay. Gooley, I'm going to let him go. I have $16 million of cap space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then Brent Clark 6. Yeah, I have no room for Gooley. Plus, he doesn't want to resign. Brandon Gooley, thanks, but see you later. Who am I thinking of now? Armia, was it? Expiring, yeah. Yoel Armia. You know what? I'm gonna let him go. I'll get him cheaper in free agency. And Sidorov, I have no reason to keep you. I was giving you an olive branch, and you spat on me. So I'm gonna let my coaches go too. Let them. Who cares about them? And I'll find better coaches here on July 1st. So all those coaches are gone. Good. Pro Scout updated my trading block. I didn't want them to. And yeah, okay, great. So let me go look at all the coaches and figure all that out. I'll be back. Okay, so I sent out offers to 1 scout and 3 new coaches in the AHL, so that's all done. Now we need to look at who is on this team next season and what are we looking to fill, if anything, in free agency. So right away, let's look at forwards. Anyone in the system who's coming up? Yeah, so 1, 2, if I can get these guys both signed. 1, 2 guaranteed right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That could be 12 right there. However, if I swap out Lowry with Pacioretty, and then if I could swap out Sherwood with like McInnes, that is something as well. So if anything, it would be a depth kind of guy, because centers 1, 2, and Moran 3, or Steele and Moran interchangeable, and then Pacioretty 4. Left wing, Raquel is pretty much the only actual left winger, but on the right wing, left wing 1 is right here, right wing 2 is right here, so 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, Sidor can be third line right wing, and then, oh yeah, it's true, Sidor and Bickle are both here, so Sidor and Bickle could be my 2 wingers on the third line, and then all I need are fourth line wings, which I already got. So that looks pretty good. Defense 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then Brant Clark 6, he'll probably grow into the spot. And then I could just maybe use a depth defenseman. Goalies, I have Gibson and Jerry. Do I trade Gibson and just make Jerry and Dostal play, though? I'm thinking of doing that, but we'll see around next season. First, let's see free agency and what's up over here in the free agent market. Also, I should have looked at who Colorado drafted with that 24th overall pick. I'm sure it's in my recording if I go back and look at it, so you can keep an eye out for it. A lot of RFAs here, actually. Interesting. A lot of RFAs. Nazarov, Wheeler, a lot of guys who were drafted around 2020. All these guys. Interesting. So let's look just at UFAs. Just UFAs. No one too wild. Danault. Stamkos is 3 years older than Danault, but the same overall than him. That's interesting. And he wants $3 million less. Matthew Tkachuk at the age of 26. That would be an interesting move. Dougie Hamilton's here. Max Pacioretty. Interesting guys. Barré Boulet, who's an 84 overall somehow. Goalies, you have Frederik Andersen, Semyon Varlamov, Korpisalo, Mr. Darcy, Yusei Saros. Interesting. Jack Campbell, classic. Okay, so no one I think we're really going to be going after here. Any guys with potential? Donnelly's on 56 overall, not really. Goalies, doesn't look like there's anybody either. Fringe starter, nah. So I think we're good. I don't think we need anybody in free agency, boys. If I look at UFA forwards and I just look for, let's scroll down to like the low 80s. Let's see who's around there. I don't think there's really anybody that I'd want to go out and get. If I'm looking, let's say around 81, starting around 81, it would cost around $1 million. Jack Rozovic kind of guy, a Zach Cassian kind of guy. Yoel Armia has one team interested in him, so good for him. I guess I'll let him go. I would have liked to have him. But that's pretty much it. So with my money, I'm going to offer now a contract to my RFAs now that they're in the free agency mode, because that now when they're in free agency mode, it changes their mindset or something. Their brains get changed. So if I go to contract, and I offer them contracts, if they don't want it, I'll just sign them once they get offer sheeted or something. So RFAs, if I go to Jesper Helmersson, he still wants the same type of deal, which is good. I'm not going to go too far, like I said. 5 years keeps him as an RFA, so 5 years is the smartest thing for me, I believe. And I'm going to offer him 7.850 for 5 years. If I go to Antoine Morand and I say, yeah, it looks like 6 years is the deal. 6 years at 5.750 is fair. And then to Philip Prickriel, 2 years, two-way, 0.775. No reason why he shouldn't accept that. I don't know why for Prickriel and Helmersson it had their background as their junior teams. Let's advance a few days. If they say no, then all worried. But let's start going. Blockbuster here. Edmonton gets Antti Raanta and a first-round pick for Nemesnikov, Forsling, and a fourth. Interesting. Nemesnikov was an 80 overall, but then winning the Cup boosted him to an 84. Okay, one of those San Diego coaches signed. A new scout for Russia signed. Keep advancing a few days. I don't really like your roster. Oh, but I just got a trophy as well for hiring those coaches. Financial compensation, yeah, I gave them all the highest possible money. Are all the spots filled? I need an AHL goalie coach, huh? Okay, I'm gonna go do that fast. Mathieu Gagné, gave him like $600K to be my AHL goalie coach. He's I think he's a C-. I don't know. I don't really care. Let's keep simulating, see what the boys say. Come on, Helmersson. Pulak and Burakovsky for a first and a second. That's a big deal with the Islanders and the Jets. Prickriel, I was extremely happy to accept your offer. I'm truly humbled that you offered me such a lucrative contract. The NHL minimum, $25,000 more than the NHL minimum, after I already offered it to you a week ago and you rejected me in the dust. So you're a piece of junk. What else? Okay, Mathieu Gagné, welcome to the team. Bienvenue à l'équipe. Helmersson accepts the offer, and so does Morand. That's the system, boys. Berglund, no. That's the system, boys. Just qualify him, wait a few days, and then sign him up. So let's get to next season. I'm going to fix up the trade block for the off-season here. And let me show it to you in just a moment. All right, trade block will look like this into the off-season, see if anybody has anything interesting to offer us. And without further ado, let's sim to next season. Kubalik and a third to Calgary for 2 seconds. That's a pretty big deal. And we're going to see more of him now. First and a third for Zadorov and a third. What? What are you doing? A first for Jamie McCann? Man, this computer. A first and a fifth for Boone Jenner, who was a fourth liner. Ay. So now at the beginning of next season, let's check the captains with Hampus Lindholm gone now. Captain remains Cam Fowler, alternate Rickard Rakell, but I think I'm going to take the alternate away from David Pastrnak. Hasn't earned it quite yet, and I think it's a pretty clear option that, yeah, it's going to go to Sam Steele. Who knows how long he's going to be on this team, as first I gave it to Henrique, then I traded him, I gave it to Lindholm, I traded him, but Sam Steele, he was drafted here, he's been playing here for a while now, and here in 2024, I think he's earned it. I think Joel Edmondson would be another runner-up for that as well. But that's done, so let me just go into the lines and fix them up, make the roster moves, and we'll see what we're looking at. So looking to make a minor trade, I want to send Adam Lowry back to the Winnipeg Jets. I didn't get him from there, but that's where he came from before he went to Boston. I'm going to see if I can just trade him for Lawson Krause, who would be better for the fourth line. He's 81 overall, 6'4", he's a power forward, big boy, 83 passing. I think he'd do better than Kiefer Sherwood with Pedro Pacioretty and Sidor. So if he doesn't fit, he doesn't fit, but I think he'd just be better. I need to trade Lowry anyways. Fair trade, good value, straight up. Thank you, Winnipeg. So I'm going to put him in the lineup. Let's see what we got. So putting in Lawson Krause does give the fourth line a +1, which is exactly what I wanted. And now looking at the lineup, this is what we got. Olofsson, Wright, Pastrnak with the +3, so 96, 91, and 90 overalls. Second line, Raquel, Steele, Lindstrom, 89, 88, and 89. Third line is only a +1 here. Helmerson, Moran, and Bickle. Helmerson, I want to put him on the second line, but then it just doesn't fit. His line fit is third and fourth line as a two-way forward, I guess, in Gilbert Hull's system. He does have good face-offs, could play center if I needed him to on the second line or something. Yeah, but that doesn't seem to fit anything now. So third line, Moran, Bickle, yeah, gives it a +1. Bickle, 83 overall, that 5-star shooting, he should be a monster. Fourth line, Krause, Pedro Pacioretty has good face-offs. He's a two-way forward with Jake Sidor, also with 5-star shooting. On defense, Jones and Makar gets a +3, so 92 and 94. Slavin Fowler's a +1. Edmondson and Brandt Clark gets an 81 with a +1, so 82s for both of them. The special teams on the power play look like this. Pretty good first power play line. It's a +3, so that's very nice with all these boys, all the top scorers. And then second line gives it a +1 with Bickle at the point, Seth Jones there. Sidor, I would want to give it to him, but he's 5'8". He's a lower overall. Bickle's been waiting a bit longer, so I'm going to try him out, see if he can get it done. Helmerson gets some power play time as well. Pound kill looks like this. I'm not really sold on it because it's tough to find people who fit. I've tried a bunch of different permutations, and this is what probably that it's going to be. With Shane Wright, that's a -1. It's tough because I need to find good wingers, and then none of the wingers really fit with the centers. So look at Steele and Lindstrom makes it a -2. So I guess I'm going to put Pedro Pacioretty there, but it's a bit of an issue. So I'll keep them like that. Hopefully they do okay. I don't have to go in and change them during the season. 3-man penalty kill is always a buzz. It never wants to work. I got to switch these guys around and try and make some magic happen. Helmerson is a great defensive player and has 80 face-off, so I prefer if he plays on the 3-man penalty kill, but it makes it a -1, so that's the issue. But if I put high overall players there, it doesn't hurt them as much, maybe. I don't know. Steele makes it a -3, Morand makes it a -3, and Shane Wright makes it a -1. So I guess Pedro Pacioretty goes, and he can keep it at a 0. So that's pretty pits. 4-man power play. I think I'd rather put Lindstrom there, and then Jones with one of my American snipers. That's what they should be called, eh? The American snipers. They're both American. Bickle is American, and Sidor is American. Yeah, the American sniper. So I'll give Sidor some 4-man power play time right there. He can play on that pairing. Does this change anything? No. It gives it such a fickle system. Really got to play it right. Whatever. Let's just go with that. 4-on-4, extra attacker, blah, blah, blah. All that is good, good, good. 4-on-4, Raquel, Edmondson, Clark, great. 3-on-3. Yeah, looks good to me. Extra attacker, shootout. Wright should not be in the shootout. Pastrnak, Makar, Lindstrom, Olofsson, and then one of the American snipers. Okay, great. That's all done. Now look at the goalies. I'm thinking about rolling Tristan Jarry and Lucas Dostal, because then that allows me to possibly trade John Gibson. He's 88 overall, he's 31 years old, 3 years left on his contract, and his trade value is dropping. So if I could trade John Gibson for something good, perhaps even, maybe I could trade this. Let's look at this. I trade John Gibson, this is his trade value, and then I throw him in with Sam Steele, who's on the last year of his $6.535 million contract. Morand I have locked up, and Wright I need to extend. So maybe I trade Steele now. I can't afford to give him $7 million. I trade Gibson and Steele for possibly, think about this, a first-line center. Then Shane Wright can become my second-line center. And then if he ever becomes like a 91, he can switch out my other guy. But those two guys can be a top 6 tandem that just rake in the points like monsters. So let's look around the NHL if there's any top centers that you want to keep in mind. Jack Eichel, no way I get Jack Eichel. With that, like, just look, the value is pretty similar. They say not even close to being what we're being asked to cough up. So he's one of the best players in the NHL, though. So think about who could we get for a first-line center, someone who's around 90 overall. You know, I'm thinking maybe Sebastian Aho, but he is making $11 million, which is a bit crazy. Danault, what? Philip Danault has full trade value and signed a 4-year, $44 million contract? What? Phil Danault, away, mon petit gars, away. Adam Henrique, 34 years old. He signed a contract with them as well. Okay. Félicitations, Philippe. Nate McKinnon, that's too much. Quentin Byfield did not grow. He's still an 83 overall in Colorado. Pierre-Luc Dubois would be very nice to get as 93 overall. Tyler Sagan's a bit old. This guy Nazarov, Alexei Nazarov, signed a 4-year deal, $6.7 million. Very good defensive stats as well. What did he do in his first NHL season? 43 and then 50 last season. Perhaps, or that was his third season. Perhaps Nazarov is an option. Think about Nazarov. Draisaitl McDavid won't happen. Barkov, don't think that's going to happen as well. This guy Lambert on the Kings, Brad Lambert, don't think that's going to happen. But I wouldn't want him anyways. I want someone who's established right now. Larkin, too expensive. Kotkaniemi making 8.1 for the next 2 years. Fits on the first line, they say. Maybe as a playmaker, yeah, Kotkaniemi's interesting. 88 overall, though, not really the 90 that I'm looking at. You know what I should be doing, actually? I should just go to the trade finder, the player search. So if I go to player search, I say a forward. I want a first line forward who is between, let's say, overall of 99, let's say 89 to 99. Let's see what they give me. I'd like only centerman. Can I sort by that? No, I can't. So Austin Matthews, Mark Scheifele, Dylan Larkin, Barkov, McKinnon, Eichel, Barzal, Dubois, Kuznetsov. Still all a bit too much value. Let's say starting from around maybe over here is more likely. Bo Horvat, top 50. He's 29 years old, 89 overall. So Bo Horvat, Nico Hischier, that's interesting. Elias Pettersson, I was playing around for Elias Pettersson because he's not on the trade block. They don't want to give him up, even for Steele, Gibson, Ekman, and 2 other high prospects. So that's tough as well. Yamamoto's at 89 overall. John Tavares is the lowest centerman, and then that's it. That's the end of the list. He's making 10.4 for 1 more year, so that's tough. Maybe even DeBrincat. Actually, I didn't look at DeBrincat. I know it lists him as a winger, but he has good enough faceoffs to play. He's a Brooklyn Bellow legend. Alex DeBrincat, he has 65. Okay, forget it. 65 faceoffs. So that's it. That's what I'm thinking about. Do I trade Gibson and Steele, and what could I get for them? Maybe I get someone else. Let's look through the trade blocks, but then I'll also look at the trade finder and see what I could get. But the trade finder, why'd they change my trade block? I'll look at the trade finder after and see what I can get for them. Browse trade blocks. I don't think there's anyone really that's going to be huge here, but I'm going to quickly go through it, and if there's anybody, I'll stop on them. Torrey Krug, 4 years, 7.7 is on the block. Don't think I want another big defenseman, though. Phil Danault on the block after they signed into that huge deal. Max Domi's on the block. So is Jonathan Drouin. He could probably play center, right? Not really, but Max Domi on the block. Evgeny Malkin on the block. That's interesting. Although he's only 85, he definitely still sims like a monster. 98 points last year. He fit on the first line, says our pro scout. That's interesting. Not a lot of trade value either for Malkin. Think about that, boys. Evgeny Malkin. And that's pretty much it. So not a lot of options out there on the trade block. If I go to find trade and I offer up John Gibson, I don't think it's gonna be too much value if I put Steele and Gibson. They're gonna tell me that there's no offers. Click that. Yeah, no trades found. So if I go just for Sam Steele, Some of the offers include, let's see, 8 different offers: 2 seconds and garbage, 2 seconds and garbage, 2 seconds and garbage, 2 seconds and garbage, 2 firsts and Cole Lind. That's interesting. A first and a prospect, a first and 2 prospects, or yeah. So I get 2 firsts and Cole Lind, or a first, Cole Lind, and a prospect type of thing from Vancouver. That's interesting. Now, what if I say only John Gibson? Only John Gibson, they give me 4 trades, 3rd, a 4th, and garbage, 2 seconds and garbage, 2 seconds and garbage, 2 seconds, a 3rd, and garbage. So not that much for John Gibson. That's the issue. The problem is the computer only really suggests things if that person's on the block. It's not, could this trade get done if you offered to them? It's, is this team willing to offer you that? That's the problem. You know, but I also realized that even though I look at all those in the trade finder there, in the player search, it doesn't show me everyone. So like, for example, I want to also look at Evgeny Malkin, who may not be a 90 overall, but he simulates like a monster. So I will continue to just go through here quickly. Now, even though I just went through the player search. Matt Duchene, Cole Perfetti. Perfetti's a big playmaker. Like we said, Jack Hughes, we said Nico Hischier as well. Tyler Wong's up to an 88. What a monster. Zibanejad is interesting. Philip Heidel, Elias Anderson, Brett Howden. A lot of good players on the Rangers. A lot of good centers they have in excess. Stützle, Tim Stützle. That would be interesting. He is a playmaker. He would fit on the bottom 6 lines, though. I don't know if he'd really fit. But also Travis Konechny there, too. So Sidney Crosby, they have, yeah, Geno Malkin right here. Brian Rust, they wanted me to trade 2 first-round picks for Brian Rust in the offseason, so that's pretty crazy. Even Sidney Crosby I would go ahead and get. He still simulates very well, as too. Rob Thomas, Ryan O'Reilly, Sammy Blais, Braden Point. We said John Tavares is there, Zane Robbins, Jeremy Bracco, not Jeremy Bracco. They have a lot of centers in Vancouver, and they traded for Trocheck in the offseason, so I'm surprised they wouldn't want to move Pettersson if I gave them a good offer. William Karlsson's on a cheap contract, and then Anton Lundell and Mark Scheifele, yeah, Isaac Lundstrom there. So, yeah, just also to go over those quickly. So, boys, I think I'm going to pause it right there, and I'm send out the scouts as always, but I think I'm going to stop it there. What do you want me to do with these lines? If I can trade Sam Steele, and then I could put Shane Wright on the second line, but then it doesn't even give it a +1. But if maybe I could switch some of this around, not even. That's the issue. Even Shane Wright doesn't give it a +1. Man, that kind of throws a wrench in what I was thinking. But it doesn't take it all away necessarily. But kind of throws a wrench in the system. I hate how Helmerson can't play on a higher line either. But okay, so that's where I'm at right now. Let me know, what do you think this team should look like heading into next season? Rickard Rakell's a monster. I don't want to move him, nor do I think we really should, because it takes away the +3. But if I could move, maybe I trade Antoine Morand instead, and then I get, or no, let's say I do trade Sam Steele. I get that guy and I put him on my second line, even if he's 88, 89, 90 overall. He could still play second line, maybe. So that's what I need your help there for, as well as, do we trade John Gibson and roll with Jerry and Dostal, or do I roll with Gibson and Jerry? Because in the AHL, we have McKinley and Bednar here. We don't need to send Dostal down. We have these guys. McKinley can be a starter. Lines in the AHL are going to look like this. Actually, I can't even show you what the lines look like because I'm waiting for the guys from the from free agency to sign their contracts. So I simulated 3 days and they still didn't sign their contract. So let me sim another day. I'll sim through this first preseason game against the Coyotes with Jerry in nets. Jacob de la Rose, welcome to the team, and so does Thomas Yurko sign on. 2/3. What is that? What kind of trade is that? So with Jerry in nets, we win 4-3 against the Coyotes, but now I can fix San Diego lines. This is what I'm thinking for San Diego lines. Got a few +1s. On defense, got a couple +1s as well. Gooley and Ekman both playing like 80s. Jamie Drysdale there. Unfortunately, I have to keep Axel Anderson scratched, or he gives a -1 to whatever line he goes on, which is really weird. Marco Aho. I also can't find a place for him either, because he would also be a -1 if I put him in my lineup. So I guess I'm going to put Matthew Hill, who's a 7th D, or this guy Volkov, who's also a 7th. What? It doesn't make sense. You know what? No. I'm not going to play your garbage games, EA. I'm putting in my players who have potential, and they're going to grow and become good players. These guys have top 4 potential. I'm going to put him top 4. It doesn't fit. I'm going to make him fit, I guess. Man, Drysdale on the top line gives it a +3. Cool. It's a -1 everywhere? Fine, it's a -1 everywhere. Gooley, you're going to play the second pair with Ola Berglund. He has potential. Anderson and Aho, you can be on the bottom. You guys are both going to get -1s. I'm sorry. EA has just decided it to be so, so it will be so. Manaj. Cameron McKinley is going to start with Matthias Kaspar backing up. Actually, no, I want Jan Bednar backing up because he has starter potential, while Kaspar is only fringe starter there. Lineup's going to look like that. Not a lot of potential in this lineup, to be honest. Prickreal has medium top 9. Tracy has medium top 6. Pierce has medium bottom 6. No, it's not really a great team in San Diego this year. Defense, however, they do have potential. Medium top 4, medium top 4, medium top 4 everywhere. Axel Anderson even has it. So, should be a better year on defense, but whatever. Lines look like this in the NHL. Let's continue simulating through the preseason, see how it looks after the end of the preseason. But boys, like I said, I need your advice. Do we trade John Gibson? Do we trade Sam Steele? And for what? So we go 6-0-1 in the preseason, a very nice record. 13 points in 7 games for David Pastrnak. So I gave Jerry starting minutes. Let's see if he ran with it. Let's see what he did. Cale Makar also ripping it up. Jerry went 6-0-1, 2 shutouts, 929 save percentage, 1.69 goals against. Boys, I think Tristan Jerry might be our starting goaltender on a $1.35 million contract. Maybe I even give him if I could even give him an extension. Pastrnak 13, Makar 10, Wright 9, Steele also 9, Lindstrom 6, Olofsson 6, Moran, Edmondson, Slavin, all these guys. Helmerson -3. Bickle was a -3 with 2 points. Sidor only had 2 assists. Bit weird there. Yeah, okay. So let me see if there's an extension I can give. Not going to give it right now, but just as a possibility as well to throw in mind, to keep in mind as well, to throw it in your mind so that it stays in your mind. We are champion status. If I go to all expiring contracts, see, Wright is going to need a contract next year. I have $21 million of cap space. Wright is going to cost me $9 million, so then that leaves me with 12. Olofsson's going to want another 9, and then, Lindholm's going to want another 11. Lindholm, 11 million. What? He's going to be a monster. That means he's going to be a monster if he wants that much money. Slavin wants 5, so it looks like I'm not even going to be able to keep Sam Steele next season, so trading him is maybe like a definite situation type thing, as well as John Gibson to free up that money. Tristan Jarry, meanwhile, I could extend him maybe for 2 years at 2.9, instead of having Gibson for 3 more years at almost 6.7. So keep all that in mind. Let me know your thoughts, boys. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.